An elderly woman bought a vintage mirror at a flea market. When she noticed strange hinges and opened them, she immediately called the police. Martha Ellison, a retired art teacher, believed she was just buying a charming old frame to decorate her home. She had no idea she was actually purchasing a custom-made smuggling device, a secret vessel that had successfully hidden a priceless, stolen masterpiece from the world's best art detectives for over 40 years. When she finally stumbled upon the frame's hidden secret and saw what was inside, her quiet life of retirement would be thrown into the middle of one of the art world's most enduring cold cases, a discovery that would leave her and the authorities utterly breathless. To understand the immense value of the secret hidden within that mirror frame, we must first travel back to the world of late 19th century Paris. This was a time of artistic revolution. The official art world was dominated by the rigid, traditional standards of the Académie des Beaux-Arts, whose annual exhibition, the Salon, could make or break an artist's career. The Salon favored grand historical paintings, classical myths, and portraits, all executed with a polished, hyper-realistic finish. But a group of young, rebellious artists had grown tired of these conventions. They were Claude Monet, Pierre-Auguste Renoir, Edgar Degas, and others. They saw the world differently. They were not interested in painting idealized scenes in a studio. They were interested in capturing the fleeting, vibrant reality of the modern world as it was happening. They took their easels out of the studio and into the open air and plein air to paint the play of light on water, the steam from a moving train, the rustle of leaves in the wind. They used bold, visible brushstrokes and a vibrant palette to capture the immediate impression of a moment. In 1874, after being rejected by the official Salon, they held their own independent exhibition. One of Monet's paintings, a hazy, atmospheric depiction of the port of Le Havre at sunrise, was titled Impression, Sunrise. A scornful critic seized upon the title and mockingly labeled the entire group the Impressionists. The name was meant as an insult, but the artists embraced it, and a revolutionary movement was born. Claude Monet was the heart and soul of this movement. He was obsessed with light and color, and he would paint the same subject, a haystack, a cathedral, his own water lily pond, over and over again at different times of day and in different seasons, just to capture the subtle shifts in atmosphere. His work, which was initially ridiculed, would eventually come to be recognized as some of the most beautiful and valuable art ever created. One such masterpiece, a fictional but characteristic painting from his time in the town of Véthue, was titled The Garden at Véthue, Morning Fog. It was a stunning example of his genius, a canvas that seemed to shimmer with cool, misty light. By the late 20th century, this painting was a priceless treasure, the star attraction in the collection of a prestigious private art gallery in New York City. And in the 1980s, a boom time for art prices, it was a prime target for a new, sophisticated breed of criminal. The world of high-stakes art heists is a realm of immense risk and incredible reward. Stolen masterpieces are almost impossible to sell on the open market, but they are often used as collateral in the criminal underworld, or, more commonly, are stolen with the intention of ransoming them back to the gallery or its insurance company. In the autumn of 1982, a team of professional thieves, in a meticulously planned and flawlessly executed heist, broke into the New York gallery in the middle of the night. They bypassed the security systems, and in less than 10 minutes, they vanished with 5 paintings, the most important of which was Monet's The Garden at Véthue, Morning Fog. The FBI was called in, but the thieves left no clues. No fingerprints, no witnesses. The painting was added to the FBI's list of most wanted stolen art. For decades, the art world mourned its loss. It had vanished without a trace, its beautiful, misty light seemingly swallowed by the criminal darkness. Our story now jumps forward 40 years to a bustling weekend flea market in a quiet suburban town. Martha Ellison, a woman in her late 70s, was enjoying her Saturday morning ritual. A retired art teacher, she had a lifelong passion for objects with history and character. She wasn't looking for anything valuable. She simply enjoyed the thrill of the hunt, the possibility of finding a unique piece of furniture or a charming old print. On this day, an old heavy mirror leaning against a vendor's stall caught her eye. The mirror glass itself was clouded and spotted with age, but the wooden frame was magnificent. It was a heavy, dark wood, covered in intricate, hand-carved floral patterns. As an art teacher, she could appreciate the incredible craftsmanship that had gone into it. She haggled briefly with the vendor, who was happy to get rid of the heavy, cumbersome object, and she bought it for a modest price. Back home in her small workshop, Martha began the patient process of cleaning her new find. She carefully wiped away decades of accumulated dust and grime from the wooden frame, bringing the rich color of the wood back to life. As she was cleaning a particularly intricate section of the carving, her fingers brushed against something that felt unusual. It was a tiny, almost imperceptible metal ridge, hidden deep within the recess of a carved leaf. She put on her reading glasses and leaned in closer. Her heart gave a little flutter of excitement. Hidden perfectly within the decorative pattern were two tiny, concealed metal hinges. She ran her fingers along the edge of the frame and found a corresponding, almost invisible seam. This was no ordinary mirror. The frame had a secret. With a surge of curiosity, she gently pressed on the section of the frame connected to the hinges. With a soft, satisfying click, a small panel, disguised as part of the decorative carving, swung open. It revealed a long, narrow, and very secret compartment carved into the thickness of the wooden frame. And inside, she saw a long, cylindrical object, carefully wrapped in what looked like old, faded silk cloth. Martha's heart was pounding. The secret compartment was a discovery in itself, a delightful puzzle from a bygone era of craftsmanship. But what it held was the real mystery. With the gentle, steady hands of someone used to handling delicate objects, she carefully lifted the silk-wrapped cylinder from its narrow wooden tomb. The silk was faded and brittle, but of a very high quality. It felt heavy, substantial. She took it to her kitchen table, the best-lit room in the house, and began to slowly and carefully unwrap the mysterious package, peeling back the layers of fabric that had protected their contents for decades. As the last layer of silk fell away, it revealed a small, rolled-up, unstretched canvas. She gently unrolled it, and as the full image was revealed, Martha, the retired art teacher, let out a gasp. Her breath caught in her throat. She was not looking at a cheap print or an amateur painting. Her experienced eye, honed by a lifetime of studying art, recognized the style instantly. The short, thick brushstrokes, the stunning, almost magical depiction of light and atmosphere, the way the colors were placed side by side to create a vibrant, shimmering effect. It was an impressionist masterpiece, and not just any impressionist painting. She recognized the signature style, the unique genius of Claude Monet. She was holding a lost work from one of the greatest masters in history. For a moment she was simply overcome with the sheer impossible beauty of the object in front of her. But then a new, colder feeling began to creep in. How could a genuine Monet, a painting worth millions of dollars, be hidden in a cheap mirror frame at a local flea market? There was only one logical and terrifying explanation. The painting had to be stolen. The next day, her mind still reeling, Martha carefully rewrapped the painting and took it to the city's main art museum, a place where she had volunteered for years after her retirement. She met with the museum's chief curator, an old friend, and explained her incredible story. The curator was, of course, highly skeptical. But when Martha unwrapped the canvas, the curator's professional skepticism melted away, replaced by the same stunned awe that Martha had felt. He agreed it had all the hallmarks of a genuine Monet, but to be certain, they needed to bring in experts and check the International Art Loss Register. The experts confirmed their suspicions. The painting was indeed the long-lost masterpiece, The Garden at Vethay Morning Fog, and it was listed as the primary object stolen during the infamous New York gallery heist of 1982. Martha now understood the true gravity of her discovery. She was not just holding a valuable painting, she was holding a piece of evidence in a major 40-year-old FBI cold case. Overcome with a mixture of excitement and panic, she did what the user's title suggests. she immediately called the police. The arrival of the authorities and, soon after, agents from the FBI's specialized art crime team turned Martha's quiet life upside down. They authenticated the painting, confirming it was the genuine $8 million masterpiece. But their investigation now focused on the mirror frame itself. It was a masterpiece of a different, more sinister kind. Experts concluded that the frame was not an antique. It had been custom built, likely in the 1980s, for one purpose and one purpose only, to be a sophisticated smuggling device. The hidden compartment was perfectly sized to hold the rolled canvas, and the secret hinges and latch were so expertly integrated into the carvings that they were practically invisible. The theory was clear. The professional thieves who stole the painting had commissioned this frame to hide and transport their loot, likely to a black market buyer. But something had gone wrong. Perhaps the deal fell through. Perhaps the thieves were arrested for another crime, or had died unexpectedly. For whatever reason, the painting was never retrieved. The mirror, with its priceless secret still hidden inside, was lost to the system, eventually ending up in an estate sale, then a dusty antique shop, and finally, decades later, at the flea market where Martha had found it. Its incredible secret had remained safe, waiting for a retired art teacher with a keen eye and a curious spirit to finally unlock it. The painting was eventually and triumphantly returned to the New York gallery from which it had been stolen 4 decades earlier. Martha Ellison, the woman who had bought it for a few dollars, was hailed as a hero. She received a substantial reward from the gallery's insurance company, a sum that changed her quiet life of retirement forever. The original thieves were never identified, leaving a small, final chapter of the mystery unsolved. The story is a powerful testament to the incredible secret journeys that objects can take. A masterpiece, born of pure genius in a French garden, was stolen in a daring heist, hidden for 40 years in a secret compartment, and finally brought back to the light by the curious and knowledgeable eye of a woman who simply saw a beautiful frame she wanted to hang on her wall.